the line between the performer and the person is a bit blurred when it comes to Bruce Lee. This phenomenon has enshrouded the man in a cloud of mysticism, which has spurred many in recent years to try and knock him down a few pegs. The consensus among most is that Bruce Lee was a great star and that he was prescient in his philosophy on the martial arts, but which could also be applied to life in general, if not his actual fighting skills. But what is that one quality which bridges the gap, in my eyes, a self-proclaimed Bruce Lee fanboy, between rock star and martial artist? We have two action figures here that might help us answer that question. When I think of Bruce Lee, this version of Bruce Lee is the one that pops into my head. The shirtless Bruce Lee. I also think of the gashes on the chest and the face because of Enter the Dragon, but this is the definitive look. It's the most often imitated, in particular in video games. It's the most versatile. I'm not necessarily saying it's the most iconic. The yellow jumpsuit Bruce Lee would have a say in that. I'm also not saying that it's not. That's a subject for another video. The kung fu shoes, the Bruce Lee with the blue kung fu pants, tapered at the ankle, baggy. The thick black elastic waistband, which leading into that famous physique of his, and that late 60s, early 70s haircut creates that very distinct silhouette that we associate with Bruce Lee. One of the things that Bruce Lee was also prescient about was modern day fitness techniques, considering that his approach to fitness was ahead of its time, not only for a regular person but even for a martial artist. He was known to have very little body fat, a lot of musculature for a man his size. He was so dedicated to fitness that there are quotations in his books, in particular Bruce Lee's fighting method, which was completed posthumously by Bruce Lee's friends and family, which you can place into a fitness magazine and it wouldn't require any more context. So Bruce Lee's physique was not only integral to his approach to the martial arts and his philosophy in life in general, but also part of what made him a star. I think Bruce Lee's warm-ups, those famous warm-ups of his, are on par with Elvis Presley's shaky legs, Sinatra holding the microphone wire with one hand while he snaps his fingers with the other, or that thing Dua Lipa does with her hips these days. So as far as the design elements on these two figures go, though Bruce Lee was a living legend, he was still a man, which is why I appreciate a more realistic approach to Bruce Lee when it comes to encapsulating his likeness in action figure form. Having said that, I give the Figma, with its more stylized posture, its anime style face sculpt, a lot of credit for exhibiting the kind of creative flair and swagger that Bruce Lee was known for. Although it's not as charming as the Figma and certain little important details are a bit off, The SH Figuarts still does a really good job with its fierce commitment to detail and intensity that Bruce Lee was known for, both in real life and on the big screen. So the overall articulation on these figures is a bit surprising in both good and bad ways. Overall, the Figuarts did better in the arm department, where the Figma excelled with the legs. I was really let down by the Figma's lack of balance as well, obligating you to make use of the stand that it comes with. I was incredibly pleased, however, by the balance displayed by the Figuarts, even in some fairly dynamic and complicated poses. The more rugged hand accessories on the Figma were nice in comparison to the Figuarts, which are very delicate and not fun to swap out. Overall, the articulation on these figures was good, in particular on the Figuarts. Both figures are impressive in certain areas, but the areas in which both come up short are significant, putting in doubt their status as a definitive encapsulation of that one quality that best represents the little dragon. Can they redeem themselves in the next round? Bruce Lee is considered one of the fathers of the current day MMA in the sense that his Jeet Kune Do sought to throw away all ideals, patterns, and styles when it came to the martial arts, using only that which works, which was the most direct and effective mode of fighting. We'll never know how far he could have developed his Jeet Kune Do, but it's evident that his philosophy on the martial arts resonated with his life in general, but also his views on art. So I think the real question here is, how far could he have evolved as an artist, because ultimately, it's the artist in Bruce Lee that bridges the gap between philosopher and martial artist, between the man and the myth. Although neither the Figuarts or the Figma quite managed to encapsulate the artistry and dynamism exhibited by the real Bruce Lee, a tall task to be sure, these two action figures continue to represent two of the best Bruce Lee toys produced so far, in particular where the Figuarts is concerned. Though I'm still holding my breath for a Mothix version of Bruce Lee, it's worth looking into the secondary market for a good deal on these two badasses here. I hope that you enjoyed this video and that you stick around for more.